I saw online that Michael Clark Duncan passed away from a heart attack today, actually last night. Uh, he was 54, that's my age, and so I was sleeping and I woke up about 3 o'clock this morning and started kind of just pondering things over in my mind, I guess thinking about mortality and how it'll come to all of us at some point. We'll be fighting for our lives. And in so considering those thoughts, I remembered some times back in my childhood when I'd been fighting for my life. And so I had a story that I wanted to share. And it's one of the reasons why I conceal carry today. It happened, I don't know, 30, 35, 45 years ago. I'm 54 now. And at the time I was probably about 12, 13, 14 years old. We didn't have concealed carry in Texas back in those days. People were, I guess kids were kind of raised around guns. Some were, some weren't. I happened to be, I had my first gun at 8 years old. It was a 410 shotgun. And I could go out at any time I wanted, pretty much, in any of the woods out around the house there and use it. And I did quite regularly. But anyway, on this particular night, it happened to be a Friday night. It was a football game. And I believe I may have already started high school, but probably was in junior high. Anyway, we were playing a high school that was on one of the local circuits, I guess, around in the North Houston area called Carver. I come from a little school called Aldine. I say little, but I think it's a 5A school now. Anyway, the game was a little lopsided. I can't remember which way. Likely we were losing, but I guess it was around about 10 o'clock and the game was getting ready to wrap up. We had restless legs, so we decided to take a walk, me and my buddy. And we walked over, I guess, opposite the parking lot on the far side of the stadium. It wasn't lit. And we went over by the swimming pool and the tennis courts, and then we kind of were working our way around to the far end of the school. And then I guess we heard the game was getting out. We had a loudspeaker there at the stadium, and we could hear that the game had ended, and so we knew we'd better start working our way back over to the cars and where we were parked, or where our parents were parked. I was riding with my friend's parents, and anyway, we decided that we would take the shortcut and walk across the practice field, which was on the back side of the stadium, and so we could get over to the parking side of the stadium. It was a small enough school where they just had the parking on one side of the stadium. Anyway, we made it to, around about, I guess, the 50-yard line, when suddenly a group of, I don't know, about 6, maybe 7 or 8, I don't know, we didn't get a quite good count because it was dark, of young teenage black fellas decided to run up to us real sudden-like. And by the time we realized they were coming upon us, it was really too late. They had come right up to us and began to huddle around us, kind of like a football huddle. And one of them said, "Hey, y'all want to play some ball?" And about that time, one of them swung on my friend and hit him in the head. And at the same moment, one of the other fellows in the group pulled a knife out and stuck it right up to my chest and pressed that blade right to my heart. Well, I immediately took one step backwards just to get away from the blade, and I put my hands up pretty much like that, ready to slap that hand down if it came back up to my chest. Well, he took a step forward, closed the distance, and so I took another step backwards. Well, he went a little bit to the side when he took his step, and he was trying to turn me back into that crowd. And so I took another step back. I was afraid to run because I knew I could be run down from behind, and then I didn't want to leave my friend either. And all of this was happening in probably in the span of about 10-15 seconds. So by the time I took 3 or 4 steps back and I realized that he was trying to turn me and get me back into that group, well, I started flanking off to the side where I wouldn't get pinned in that group. Well, all of a sudden, bam, everybody just flushed like a covey of quail, and they all just ran in different directions, all kind of back towards the other parking area. There was kind of a parking area along the one road that led into the stadium that wasn't the main parking area. Anyway, they all just kind of dispersed and just vanished pretty much into the crowd of people that had been coming out of the stadium. So at that point, I looked down and saw my friend laying on the ground, pretty much just beat to holy hell, stomped, kicked, hit. I don't know what all they did to him, but I'll tell you what, I've never seen somebody that come from just regular looking person to just awful, beat to hell, black and blue, swollen, can't even talk kind of thing, just grown type, beat up. Anyway, I kind of knelt down beside him for a minute there, and he finally got his breath back and slowly got up, and then we slowly walked, really without any words, over to the parking area and finally found his dad's car, which was a station wagon, and we got in the car and told the story, and then his dad got a tire iron out of the back of the car, and we proceeded to drive around looking for those young youths. Well, we looked into the face of many a black person that night, and of course we never did find any of those kids. I suspect they had jumped in cars and were hiding out at that point. But anyway, I guess that's one of the reasons why I conceal carry today. At the time, I had bought a $10 .22 Magnum Derringer, had 2 shots, and at 10 feet you could not hit the broadside of a barn with it, but up close I guess it'd be kind of a belly gun. Anyway, I had taken the gun out and shot it, I guess, many times and discovered how accurate it was. And on this particular night when I went to the game, I could have taken the gun with me. Perhaps should have taken the gun with me. And I wonder to this day, if I had taken that gun with me, what would the lives be like of the black kids that came up and attacked us that night? And for that matter, my life. I wonder what it would be like. And for my buddy, perhaps it would have ended his attack sooner, although it may have cost a life, and I hope I would have had the presence of mind to just fire in the air or into the ground to try and disperse that young group of kids. But anyway, I wanted to share this story with you because it is one of the reasons why I conceal carry today. And I keep a little Beretta with me. I'll show you this little gun. It's got a little indicator right here that'll pop it up. Let's see if I can get it to go up. I'm going to just put this camera pointed down a little bit more where you can maybe see it. Let's see, there it is. It's got a little mechanism here that you can flip it up, and it's got a little round in there. Shake it out. You can kind of see it. There it is. Then the magazine release over here on the handle. And I keep this gun loaded. It's a little .32 Beretta Tomcat. It just slides around in there and then closes back up. You don't even have to rack the slide on this one. But it's real safe. You have to take the safety off, which is over here. And you also have to cock the hammer back. I'm not going to cock it back because then I have to release the hammer. I don't want to have to do that here at 3 o'clock in the morning in case I have an accident and wake my wife up. She's got to go to work tomorrow. But anyway, that's why I conceal to carry. So I've got a few other stories, and maybe I'll end up sharing those over a little bit of time here as to why I conceal carry. But that's one that I wanted to share with you, and I'm not trying to convince you that you need to carry. It's just why I do. Anyway, thanks for listening to my story, and hope you have a great year.